Guys, welcome back. Sdho 126. How are you doing? Are you ready for the first ever Sdho crypto show? Now, before some of you think, hey, I'm upset, I want him to be doing all of that wonderful Ableton sound design stuff. Well, here's the thing. You're gonna very much enjoy this, so please don't turn off. Just hang out with me here, because this isn't like a rah-rah crypto show. I've been watching the crypto industry, the markets, for the last 5 years, like basically consuming crypto content every day. And I'd like to tell you everything you would need to know everything truly about crypto. And you're going to learn so much. We're going to cover a lot of different topics. And in just this hangout, which will probably not even be an hour because I'll probably get tired, you will know more about crypto than any person that you know in your life. And this isn't like a geeky out show where, there's no like rah-rah, there's no, oh, you need to go out and buy. In fact, because like even someone like myself who's in crypto, when like I hear someone talking about crypto, it makes me cringe because they basically don't know what they're talking about and they are very hypey, and basically everyone's been losing money in crypto, okay? So, but I want to tell you what's been going on, give you an update. And because you trust me for all the information that I provide, whether it's on Ableton or like spiritual and AI stuff that I get into, well, now I can tell you a bit about Bitcoin and the crypto market and basically what happened, what we thought was going to happen last year, and it didn't happen, what's happening right now, and what are the things you would need to know about it. And you really don't need to know anything about it, but you're going to learn so much. We're going to cover a wide variety of things, and you will know more about crypto than even like random people that you may know that talk about it. And you're like, yeah, I don't care. Well, turns out they actually don't know anything about crypto. Even if they bought crypto, have crypto, pay attention, I'm surprised just how little anyone knows about it. And you know me, I like to teach, educate, tell interesting things to people. But even I am like, I know what I know. I don't even want to get into those conversations, because even people who claim to know about it, I'm so shocked at like how little they know. And this isn't about like knowing things, learning things. It's my experience in it every day. And I would like to tell you some things. You're going to know more about it than like anybody. So we're looking at the Bitcoin price chart right now. And as you can see right here, it's currently trading at 68,000, a little under 69. Nice. A little under 69,000 US dollars for one Bitcoin. And if you look at this chart here, you see these candles. This is called a candlestick chart. See, we're going to get into a lot of things here. And by the way, don't feel like you need to understand or follow along with everything I'm saying. Like it's going to be a stream of consciousness. It's going to be you're going to learn so much. And don't feel like, oh, this isn't for me. Like, trust me, like you're going to be privy to things that nobody knows about. So when you look at this candlestick chart, you might be like, I don't like the way that looks, because you're used to maybe looking at something like over here that just says a price and if it's up or down, and you might be used to looking at it like this, oh, the line chart, oh, it's so comforting, everyone knows the line chart, oh, this isn't scary like those crazy candles. Well, you know what these candles are, and we're going to be building on all sorts of things today, my friends. So these candles, and I'll explain what they are, but like when you're used to looking at the line chart, it's just connecting the closing price of all of the candles. So the candles is what really is going on. It's just people don't want to look at candles, your average person. They want like a nice like line. And I want to change the color of the line. By the way, I'm in TradingView. How do I change? I'm used to using the mobile app. I'm like, hey, I want to change the color here. No, I don't want the draw tool. What the heck? I'm used to using the mobile app. Okay, I want to change. I honestly do think that I have like autism because like just little things will like bug me until I'm like, okay, I don't want a gradient. I want it solid, and I want it to be orange because it's Bitcoin, even though we're not going to be hanging there. So like people are used to looking at the line. You don't want the line. If when you truly want to know what's going on, you want the candles. And what are the candles? We should probably talk about it. If you see up here, you've got this open, high, low, close. So for instance, you see these little wicks here? So like each one of these candles is a month. We could zoom in to like the hourly candles, right? But because I want to zoom out, so you can choose what you want to look at, right? So if like the price is like moving a lot, like it's up a lot or it's down a lot, you know, I don't want to be looking at like the monthly chart. I want to be like zoomed in to see like what kind of like a move, what kind of like a run is going on here. You know what I mean? And so that's why you would like zoom in, but I want to zoom out for now. So we're going to go back to the monthly candles here. So when you look at these candles, this wick of the candle, that shows the lowest point it reached. The wick on top is the highest point it reached. And then the open and the close price for the month is what's shown right here. So this one hasn't closed yet. So you see it right here. That lets you know the price is 68,837 when it closes. So like for instance, for this one, the month of January, it opened at 87,500. It closed at 78,619. And then the highest point, let's get our brush out here. The highest point right here is the high, and the lowest point is there. Now, if it opened low, if it closed lower than it opened, it will be a red candle. If it closed higher than it opened, it will be a green candle. Does it really matter if it's green or red? No. I mean, if I wanted and I just wanted to be fancy, I could just make all these candles like the same color. You know, you can do whatever you want, you know. I guess some people who look at charts, they want to, like for instance, one of the big talks right now in crypto is like, look at all of this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles, which we really haven't even had at any other, sorry, gotta get off draw mode. Haven't really had that many. And by the way, Bitcoin goes all the way back to 2009. So, where do we... So, what do I want to talk about with crypto? What would you want to know? Well, there's something we were all hoping for, something we were all wishing for, and it didn't happen, but it also kind of happened. And this would literally be the most important thing to know about crypto and Bitcoin. And that's what I'm going to share with you right now. How are you guys doing? Smash a like if you did not turn off the video. Smash a like if you like me talking about things other than Ableton Live and sound design, because I think I'm going to just start talking about random things I'm interested in to see what catches, because I feel like I need to start like actually making serious content, not just SDHO 127 or something. So there's this thing in crypto called the 4-year cycle, which is that one of the years in the 4-year cycle is a very bad, scary bear market, sometimes called crypto winter. And then that's followed by 3 years of the crypto prices going up. This is also reflected in the stock market. Usually there is 3 good years and then a bear market crash year. Because this is all a bunch of fake gobbledygook and it's meant to enrich wealthy people, the stock market, well, it can't just go up forever, and it only goes up because they're printing money. So now the dollars are weaker and everything is priced in dollars, so asset prices go up, which really just means that they're priced in dollars and that dollars buy less and less stuff every year. And so you can't just go up forever. You kind of have to, I don't know, crash things for a year. And make no mistakes, the wealthiest people, the people who are probably behind the scenes doing all of this, they know damn well that no matter how far the stock market crashes, they are going to buy it all up at the lows. And they know it, and you don't. And anyways, so this 4-year cycle, well, I got into crypto January of 2021. So I got into crypto, oh, I gotta get the draw tool. I don't know why there's a lag. I got into crypto here. And oh God, I don't like this stupid thing. So I actually got into crypto in early 2021 because I'm a digital artist and I follow a lot of digital artists on Instagram, or at least I did. Now my Instagram is just like pugs and AI pug videos, which are just so ridiculously funny and goofy that like I almost like the AI pug videos more than the regular pug videos. And it started happening at the end of 2020. There was a lot of these digital artists that I follow. They were like, yo, there's this thing called like NFTs, crypto art, and like this dude Beeple just like sold one of his NFTs for like $1 million, and you guys should probably look into it. And that's when I was like, oh, and it's built on this blockchain thing? That's crazy. I should figure out how to make an NFT because I'm an artist. I'm a digital artist. And so that's what actually got me in. Although I had known about crypto prior. In fact, I heard about crypto back here in 2017. But when I heard about it, I didn't know that, see, like I'm annoyed that like these little blue balls are here, and if I click, it will just draw another one, and I'm like, I want to get rid of those stupid blue balls. Blue balls. Hope we're having fun. All I want to do is just drink some beers and talk about crypto to my friends, and I don't have no friends. That's okay. I've chose everything in my life. So anyways, I got in, and I got an Ethereum wallet because I heard the NFTs were on Ethereum. They're not on the Bitcoin blockchain. And I bought like $250 worth of Ethereum with like my credit card, which and I minted an NFT, and it cost so much money because the Ethereum gas fees were so high back then. So like I think like I ended up having like I think it cost like $70 for it to all be said and done. And then I didn't really pay attention. And then it moved all the way up. So like the tiny bit of crypto I had in Ethereum went from being like around, and I don't know the right numbers, but it was like 250, and then I like looked and it was like 450, and then it like moved down, And yeah, and then this was the top of the 2021 bear market, right? The last bull market, sorry. The last bull market cycle was here in 2018. And then you can't see it here, but the first one was 2013. So the first bull market was 2013. Then 4 years later, it was 2017. And then 2021. And then 2025, which that's what we're here to talk about. But I want to go over all of this so you can really have a full, comprehensive picture so you know more than everyone about crypto. And again, this is not a rah-rah crypto. It is a realistic video. And to be honest, I used to be so tribalistic about crypto because I thought it was going to give me financial freedom, and it definitely has not done that. And I've been in the game since it's been 5 years now. I'm still in it though. So you might be thinking, why is there this 4-year cycle? Well, something happens with Bitcoin every 4 years. It's called the Bitcoin halving. So the people who mine Bitcoin, every time you mine a block, which we should probably, mempool.space, I think it is. What the hell is this dumb advertisement? No, I don't want to go there. No, I just wanted to critique that dumb advertisement. Yeah, I like this better. Okay, whatever. What is it? Mempool.space? I think so. The mempool. These are so every 10 minutes a Bitcoin every 10 minutes a block is minted in the Bitcoin blockchain. So if we click on this most recent one, by the way, 936,477. Let's click on this. This was the most recent. By the way, the Bitcoin blockchain has never gone down. So check this out. Spider Pool was able to mine this Bitcoin. And what happens is when you mine the Bitcoin, you collect all of the fees. So all of the people that sent transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain, which is illustrated down here, I don't quite know exactly what that completely is. It shows all these different things. But you collect all the fees. So in this block, and it happens every 10 minutes, a new block gets added, which is basically just like a ledger of everyone who sent Bitcoin. So if I sent you Bitcoin, it would show up in this particular block. So this guy collected $420, 420, nice, fees, which is 0.006, but then you get the subsidy, which is 3.125. So this dude now has $215,000 worth of Bitcoin. So every 4 years, it gets halved. So in like early mid 2028, this will get halved. It's 3.125, but when you add the 006, that's why it says 3131 or 3.131. So like it will get halved, and it will be like what is half of 3.125, like 1.6. So the supply gets smaller and smaller, and there will only ever be. And so CoinGecko, all the cryptos, they're ranked by market cap, of course, which is like how big it is or how valuable it is, I guess you could say. Let's click on Bitcoin. Circulating supply, 19.98 million Bitcoin. Max supply, 21 million Bitcoin. So there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. You can't fudge it. You can't fake it. There's nothing anyone can do that can change it from being a max supply of 21 million Bitcoin. So far, we are almost at 20 million Bitcoin, which I think happens within the next like 3 or 4 months, the 20 millionth. And based on that halving schedule that I was telling you about, I think that the final Bitcoin gets mined in like the year 2100. Now, after that happens, because someone was like, hey, mate, but when the 21 million Bitcoin gets mined or whatever in 2100, by the way, you's probably not gonna be there, but I's gonna be like living forever or whatever, cause like I's gonna be putting the AI in me body. By the way, don't put the AI or any technology in your body. We can talk about why later. Seriously, dude. And I love it. Mate, you says you's like love the AI and shit, but like, you's be saying don't put it in your body. What is you like not in love with the AI anymore, Gemini? What is you like hypocritical? Is you lying to me or some shit? No, AI is great because we're going to be able to just be humans and just be able to live and enjoy and experience life without being a wage slave. But you don't want technology or AI in your body. If something horrible happens to you and you get in a bad car accident and you're paralyzed or something, or like you have some very bad neurological disease and AI can fix it, do it. But if you're a happy, healthy person, don't do it. If you are curious to know why, we can maybe talk more about this, but I kind of want to get back to the crypto and I don't want to get too derailed. So yeah, also, just if you wanted to know, see how the market cap right here. So Bitcoin's market cap, even at this number, which is below that 2021 peak of 69,000, its market cap is 1.375 trillion. Now, what might, fully diluted, that's wrong. It's not the same. Shame on them. We're going to go to the other one, coin market cap. That's the other one you would go to track crypto prices. They won't screw this up. I can't believe, shame on CoinGecko. So, see fully diluted is 1.44 trillion. Fully diluted, or FDV, and notice how it says market cap 1.37 trillion. Fully diluted says if the entire token supply was released, so like for instance, if the 21 million Bitcoins have already been mined, the market cap would be 1.44 trillion instead of 1.37 trillion. So that's what that means. Okay, let's get back to the chart. So the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle is basically the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. And it's predicated, supposedly, maybe not anymore. We'll talk about that. By the way, you already know more than any idiot talking about crypto or Bitcoin. Pat yourself on the back. All you had to do is just like hang out with, I was going to say something self-deprecating, but I couldn't find the words to say it, probably because my higher self is like, yo, don't do that, mate. So, in theory, every 4 years at the Bitcoin halving, the Bitcoin supply gets cut in half. That gets reduced to the miners that get that Bitcoin every 10 minutes when a new block is mined. So what happens is, in theory, because I don't actually think this matters or this like plays a role anymore. Mate. Sorry, I need to adjust myself. Mate. So, in theory, when the Bitcoin halving happens, the price does not skyrocket. Apparently, it skyrockets a year and a half afterwards. I don't want to get into the reasons why. I could, but I kind of feel like I need to move forward in this conversation to not like bore or like bore anybody. But that's why. So if you hear like the 4-year cycle, the Bitcoin halving cycle, and what people speculate is that Bitcoin pumps up and then other coins follow suit, and that Bitcoin goes first, then it goes into Ethereum. It's like people will take their profits and then they will put it into smaller cap altcoins like Ethereum, and then that goes throughout the whole thing, and then finally crypto winter. And how bad are the crypto winter? Well, from this peak of 69,000 to the bottom was a drop of 76%. Mate, that's awful, mate. That's damn awful. It's awful, mate. It's awful. So if we take a look at the previous bull market, and we get our tool, so like, look at this big wick. This means that it pumped. So like, what that means, is for this month, which was December of 2017, it opened the month here at 9,000, and then over that month, it pumped all the way from 9,000, almost touching 20,000 before coming down, and then it closed right here at 13,000, and then boom, boom, it opened January 18th right here, okay? And it probably went up, and people are like, oh, we're so back. Oh, it got up to 17,000, then boom, all the way down, mate. See this candle right here? This one? Oh no, are we freezing up on our computer? And then it got down here, and then it closed here. That's why it's red, because it opened here and closed here. That's why it's red. Boom, 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 mate. And so if we take this, I like to measure it from the wick, because the wick I think is important, to the bottom, 85% drawdown. And see how this looks small? This was the first bull market. You'll be like, yo, mate, that's actually not a bull market, mate, because look how small it is. Well, it actually is not small, because if you see this, look at this. So if you were in at the beginning of the year of 2013, when Bitcoin was $35 a coin, look at this. 3,000%. But if you zoom out, it does this. And this is very misleading. It like totally like freaks people out. So like this is like an arithmetic scale, but if I want, I can make it be a logarithmic scale. Because like if you take a look at this actually is more reflective to reality, because it basically makes all of the moves that go up, it makes all of the moves like relative to each other, so it's not like goofy. But yeah, we don't want to do that because we're not like that hardcore. We're gonna go back to just like regular. I think it's called arithmetic. Is it? It just says regular. So 4-year cycles. Now that you know about 4-year cycles, we should talk about what we were all thinking and what we all thought we were getting, and we were so let down. But the 4-year cycle did, in fact, happen. We're going to talk about that next. May hate. Yo, Gemini, I was like watching you for like your sound design shit or whatever. But like, I think I like want you to tell me more about the crypto stuff. I think I want you to be telling me more about them other stuff that I be missing in my life or whatever. By the way, welcome to the SDHO, wherever you are in the world, especially the UK, where you can be charged, prosecuted for posting things that are politically incorrect on the internet. Sorry, guys. And there's a lot of other things I could mention about the UK. I feel you guys. In fact, maybe when I do this voice, it's like a past life of mine or something. I have no idea. So what happened? Well, a lot of times you hear, boom and bust cycles. Oh, crypto will never come back. But it did. The first crypto bull market was back here. Remember I was showing you that in 2013? Truthfully, it actually wasn't. If we zoom in, the first one was 2011. But nothing else was around in 2011. And the security and everything of Bitcoin, there's nothing to be worried about the security of Bitcoin, but the wallets, like, were kind of a mess, and you needed to know about how to not lose your Bitcoin, meaning when you got your seed phrase, you had to keep it and like not let anyone get it because they could get your Bitcoin. So really, it goes all the way back. Like, so you could say we had the first one in 2011 just for Bitcoin. Basically, no other cryptos were around. Then in 2013, Bitcoin was around, Litecoin was around, Dogecoin was around, XRP was around, and they were all basically like clones of Bitcoin, not necessarily XRP, and I don't like XRP, but I don't want to get much into it, even though it has like a cult following. I don't like it because I know about it, and it's not cool, and it's not good. So you could say, in theory, this 2017, if someone says they were around for the 2017 cycle, they were really in it a long time ago. So you could say, like, the first cycle, if we're talking about Bitcoin, and by the way, you don't really want anything other than Bitcoin. I hate to say it, even though I do love Ethereum and Solana, but they're, like, different. We can get into that. So, like, 2011, so that's 2013, and these are, again, big bull market blow-off tops. 2021, and then this one, 2025. So that's 5 cycles that it went up, down, up. But when it went up, when it did that, it always went much higher than it did before. And that's what we were expecting. And that is what happened in 2025, even though we were all disappointed. So what does that mean? Well, let's talk. I can't believe this stupid arrow is on a delay. I can't even honestly believe it. It's pissing me off. It's making me really mad. Let's talk about this cycle, this 2021 cycle. Why talk about it? Because that's when I got in, and that's when a lot of people got in. And when this happened, people said Bitcoin is never coming back. By the way, we're building on so many things here, so if you're getting annoyed or bored, just hang out with me, okay? It's gonna build, you're learning. I heard something the other day. Actually, I didn't hear it the other day. I heard it a long time ago. People said, or someone said, if you're not hanging out with people who are teaching you new things, who is you hanging out with? Who is you hanging out with? I've got a lot of information to share. Don't know what I'm doing yet. So this was pretty brutal. Where did we get to? November 2021. If you look up top, hey, where did all those things go? It just, oh, it's because I'm on the, what's it called mode. So from top to bottom, it went down 77%. Oh no. And everyone who followed crypto was all saying the same thing. Don't worry, bro. HODL, we'll come back. And I remember it was right around here. It was December of 2022. If you can see, 15,000. See on the side, 15,000? 15,500. I think right here was the bottom. 15,000. 4792. But I knew about Bitcoin, so I knew it was going to come back. And then it did. And now look where we are. So what happened? Well, if you got in here because you listen to all these crazy Bitcoiners, you ended up getting, and no one bought the bottom, peak to trough, or trough to peak. Remember when we were looking at that 2013 3,300% increase? Well, now you got 666. That 666% increase. So, if you are astute, you would say peak 2017, peak 2021, and then what were all the crypto bros saying? Yo, mate. Yo, you's gotta listen to me, mate, because what's gonna happen, mate? Look, I'm gonna fast forward into the future. That means 4 years later, and it always happens in like quarter four. 4 years later, mate, it's gonna do this. And then, and again, and I was saying this too. I said 2025 is gonna be the end of the bull market for crypto and most likely stocks. And then 2026 is gonna be boom. Now, you might say, oh my God, Gemini, the prophecy was completed. And I'll say, it kind of was, and it kind of wasn't. Here's why. It didn't happen for any other assets. Here's SWE. Oh, I gotta hide these drawings. I drew. You'll draw this crap on there. Where are these lines? Here, maybe I can get a different SWE chart. I like SWE. Well, this would suggest the top was at the beginning of January 2025. Let's go back to the Bitcoin. These are my drawings. I don't want these drawings. I'll get a different one. So here's what happened. Right now, in the crypto land, everyone says, why did we not have the 4-year bull market cycle? Why did it break? It didn't break. It didn't break. It just only happened for Bitcoin. Which, to be honest, guys, I know Bitcoin's boring. That's the only thing, it's the only one you want, really. So, what happened? Here's 2021. As foretold, the year after the peak, we would have blum, 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 blum. And then, what did we all say? We all said that 2022 was going to be the bear market, and then it would pump, it would pump, it would pump to quarter four of 2025, which it did, and then it would dump 2026. But yet everyone says, what the hell happened in crypto? When I was telling people 2025, it's gonna peak in Q4 of 2025 and then 2026 would be the bear market, crypto winter. It happened. But it didn't quite happen like it used to here. We topped. But and you might say, oh wow, 126,000. That's nothing. We thought it would get to 200, 250,000, but back here, when it topped at 69,000, nice. 69,000, we all thought it was going to 100,000, and it didn't. This didn't really happen with anything else other than Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Look at Ethereum. Actually, I do believe we don't really need anything back further from here, but I'm just going to get the longer one. Okay. Ethereum's been around since 2015. Bitcoin, the first one, 2009. Ethereum began in 2015. Now, Ethereum is a biggie. Now, if we go to CoinGecko, they rank them by market cap. So take a look at market cap. Bitcoin, as I was saying, 1.375 trillion. The second biggest is Ethereum at about $250,000. Tether is a stablecoin at 183 billion. Then XRP, please don't waste your money on XRP. And then it keeps going down. Ethereum's pretty much always been in the 2 spot. So what happened here? No, I don't want that stupid arrow. Well, take a bloody look at this. I'm in draw mode, so it wasn't letting me do what I want to do. It reached an all-time high in the 2021 bear market of about 4,900. It then dropped to a low in the bear market of 2022 to about $900. And believe it or not, in August of last year, 2025, it made a new all-time high, almost scratching the surface of 5,000. So if you bought at the literal peak in 2021 and then you waited 4 years, you, for a second, got slightly higher and then downsy. Same thing with Solana. Look. You draw those lines. More lines. It doesn't matter. I can turn off the lines if I want. Where do you turn off the lines? Solana peaked at 260, and it got higher. But it got higher in January of 2025, and then down. It got kind of close when Bitcoin made that new all-time high in October of last year, but then down. Still came way back. I mean, look, 260 down to like $8. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Okay. So, what happened? Well, pretty much everyone you'll talk to will say 2025 was supposed to continue the 4-year bull market cycle, but it didn't. But it did. It did, but only for Bitcoin. The problem is that people say Bitcoin's price action It's too boring. It is. They say altcoins. If you hear altcoins, what are altcoins? Alternative coins to Bitcoin. People don't really want to put money into Bitcoin. They want to put money into the altcoins because they can pump harder. But what pumps, dumps. There was, and one of the words we say is when alt season. There was no alt season. Technically, there kind of was. But, yeah. We only got the bull market for Bitcoin and then it dumped. So the 4-year cycle is still intact. And if someone says it doesn't, you would say, well, what crypto were you holding, my friend? And it's probably trash meme coins. So the 4-year cycle happened. But there's usually a thing called a blow-off top. So back here, holy shit, a 6,000% pump in the bull market of 2017. Oh my God, can you imagine a 6,000% gain? Oh my God, you can't. You absolutely can't. See this wick right here? That was the COVID low. So let's do the next bull market. Let's do the COVID low. The other one was 6,000%. This one wasn't so big. That's what she said. 16,000% pump. Oh boy, that wasn't so big. Oh no, will it ever happen again? Well, the bear market low, 15,000 in 2022. What did we get? Peak or trough to peak, 732%. If someone said to you, hey mate, yo, back in 2022, hey mate, I know that the Bitcoin, yo, it hit like 69,000 a coin, and then it dumped to 15,500. Yo mate, Bitcoin's got a finite supply. Yo, it's gonna come back. Yo, it was at 69,000 a coin. It's now at 15,500. Yo, I can see into the future. It's gonna go up, mate. I just don't know when. I don't know how high. But yo, 15,500. You should buy some Bitcoin, mate. And you did. And then you bought. And then it went from 15,500. And the guy said, oh, and by the way, I can see the future. It's gonna top 4 years, it's going to top, with the 4-year cycle at the end at Q4 of 2025. And so someone, let's say, bought one Bitcoin at 15,500, and then it went all the way up to 126,000, going up over 700%. Is 700% a pretty good return on investment? And then someone said, oh, by the way, it's at 126,000. I can see into the future. This is the top. And let's pretend you executed this. You bought at 15,500. You believed that the 4-year cycle was intact. You believed in Bitcoin, and it went all the way up from 15,000 to 125,000. And you sold, and now we're at 68,000, probably going lower. And you asked that person, and you said, everything you were told, is the 4-year cycle intact? You'd say, hell yeah, it was. I made 700%. And then I got out. So the 4-year cycle, still a thing. Still a thing. Just didn't happen on the other ones. And we haven't even really started talking about how Ethereum's blockchain is different than Bitcoin's blockchain, and that Ethereum's blockchain, when Ethereum, So like Ethereum introduced smart contracts. You heard of smart contracts, you heard of DeFi. That happened on Ethereum. It got launched in 2015. And it was like, oh, you could run the entire financial world on the blockchain, but you need a thing called smart contracts. And yeah, Solana was like, oh, you know that like Ethereum thing? You know that Ethereum thing? Well, we actually do it better because we're faster and we're cheaper and just overall a little bit better and funner to use. And of course, it didn't come out in 2015. It came out in 2020 with a whole host of other blockchains. Back to Bitcoin. Oh, looks like we're at 68,900. Might soon hit 69,000 a coin during this production. So, when these peaks happened, oh shit. So when these peaks happened, it topped on euphoria. It topped on ecstasy. But this, 2025, October, if we're being precise, October 6th, it topped on apathy. But did it happen? When this was happening, no one, unless you really believed, thought this would happen. And that was the hope. The hopium that we all were hoping for, but we never knew. And it happened. But we were expecting it to go a lot higher. We thought it was going to go way up there to 250,000 at least. So what does this all mean? What does this all mean? What does this all mean? Well, give me a second. I need to refresh my brain. So what does this all mean? Well, we haven't even really gotten into what blockchain is and why you should care. What self-custodying your assets really means. And why you really don't own the money in your bank account. That it's being lent out, and that if there was a bank run, you'd be screwed, but you would self-custody your crypto. I've cracked the code of crypto, and I don't like the answer particularly of why we didn't have a blow-off top. of why it was seemingly only Bitcoin who completed the 4-year cycle, now in the bear market. And why, and this is, I think, where we get a little meta, and why we never had alt season. Well, my friends, I'm going to tell you why. An hour in. But you know I'm not surface level. In fact, I got mad at someone because they were asking me to be too surface level, and I got mad. I shouldn't have been mad. I was drinking a little bit, and I got rubbed the wrong way, and I yelled at someone, which I thought I wouldn't do anymore, but I did. Whatever. I forgive myself. I forgive the person. By the way, guys, you gotta forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. It's hard to do. Really, it definitely is. Sometimes I think maybe if it's hard to forgive others, maybe it's best to just start by forgiving yourself. Didn't think we were going to get spiritual today, but whatever. We're always getting spiritual. So, what happened? Well, and yes, I know we aren't talking about the fundamentals. We're talking about technicals, the technical analysis, which is just the price, which is what most idiots only care about. That's why I got mad at this person. I thought they were being... whatever, don't even get into it. Maybe we'll get into it later. Me yelling at somebody. Some stupid Gen Z person would only reach out to me and be like, what do you think the price is going to be, man? And I'm like, bro, like, there's so much to talk about other than the price. If you don't have conviction in this thing and all you care about is price, you're going to get burned. And then I yelled at him, which I'm not proud about, but whatever. So we're just talking about price right now. I would love to actually dive deep into why this blockchain technology and DeFi, decentralized finance, is so important. Maybe we'll get there at the end. I don't know, but we're focusing on like the price because that's probably what people mostly focus on, and I guess that's just the topic of today. So whatever. So the price, it's 69,000 right now. 69,000 US dollars for one Bitcoin. So like if I sent you one Bitcoin, which, bro, I don't have one Bitcoin, that's too much. But like if I did, so let's pretend you had a Bitcoin wallet and I was like, yo, mate, show me your Bitcoin wallet address. You would open it up on your phone. I would take my phone and I would scan the QR code of your Bitcoin wallet address and I sent you a Bitcoin. You would then open up Coinbase or Robinhood or something, and that one Bitcoin would show up in your account, and then you could sell it, and yes, you would get $69,000 worth. And then you would have to pay taxes on it, even though they wouldn't know what that original Bitcoin was purchased for. And it doesn't even imply that one Bitcoin was even ever purchased. You know, most people are not buying one Bitcoin or multiple Bitcoins. They're purchasing like tiny amounts, and then they'll ideally grow it to like one or more, because you don't have to have the amount of money to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy like $5 worth of Bitcoin. Didn't know if you knew that. See how we're covering so much ground here? You're learning so much, which is why I'm glad you stuck around. So crypto, here's the lesson. Here's all you got to know, because I should probably wrap this up. Crypto and the price. Stocks and the price. By the way, if you want to talk about stocks, you want to know how you impress everybody? I know this is so cringe. You don't call them stocks, you call them equities. If you talk to some hoity-toity rich person talking about stocks and you call them equities instead of stocks, he'll be like, wow, equities. Wow, you must really know what you're talking about, young lad. And you're like, well, I don't. But equities. And he's like, oh, tell me more. That's a really good word that came out of your mouth. Whatever, just being goofy. So people think about stocks, people think about crypto, and they think, why does the price go up? Oh, because people are buying. Why does the price go down? Oh, it's because people are selling. Nope. Not true. You would think that. So, what moves the price? The derivatives market. Wow, we're an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes in, and now we're talking about the derivatives market? Because people think some things that are completely wrong. And by the way, if you ever want to sound cool, if you ever want to sound incredibly cool, someone goes, "Hey, this is ridiculous. Why is Bitcoin not going up to the moon? Why the hell is it down?" If you want to sound cool, here's what you do. It's down because there's more sellers than buyers. It's down because there is a lot of sellers. And the person's like, there's nothing I can say. But the person that gave that stupid cool answer, they're not cool and they're not smart. It's the derivatives market. And you want to know who's investing in crypto? No one. No one's buying it. No one's selling it in the traditional sense. The spot market. There's the spot market and there's the derivatives market. The spot market says, what is the market price of Bitcoin? It's 68,000. I'm not going to say 69 anymore because I don't want to say nice, even though like you're like contractually obligated to do that. The spot market says, what is the market price of Bitcoin? It's 68,000. So it says you can make a market buy order and you would buy it at the spot price, 68,000. You could also do a limit order and say, I want to buy $1,000 of Bitcoin if it gets to 64,000, okay? So when the spot price of Bitcoin, let's say, goes from 68 to 64,000, your order will execute. That's not futures, that's the spot market. But the derivatives market, that's what screws everything the hell up. That's why there's those huge dumps. And, well, conversely, the huge pumps. You gotta have pumps to have dumps and have dumps to have pumps. Remember that. The derivatives market is betting. Do you like sports betting? Do you like prediction markets? Do ya? No one gets rich buying a stock or a crypto, at least any of us regular retail folk. But there's something called the derivatives market because it's a derivative of Bitcoin. And in the derivative market, that's when you have shorting and longing. Shorting says that you want to bet money, the keyword bet, that you want to bet money that Bitcoin will go down. If you are long Bitcoin, that means you are betting that Bitcoin will go up, or any stock or any crypto. Now, something called leverage comes into the play. Let's pretend you get your stupid paycheck from being a wage slave at Domino's Pizza. And you say, hey, I'm doing good. I'm working over at the Domino's Pizza in Chicago, IL, and I want to take some of this money. I just broke up with my girlfriend, so I will have a lot more money. You know, she actually had a pretty good job too. She was a nurse. She was making a lot more money than me, but still insisted that I had to pay for every dinner and for everything because that's just what guys do. Doesn't sound very feminist to me if you would ask me. However, I said, you know what? I've got extra money now. I'm going to put about $500 into the Bitcoin because I think it's going to go up. Here's the thing. In the derivatives market, you deposit the $500. You're not buying $500 of Bitcoin. You are depositing $500 worth. And now you can borrow against it. That's called leverage. maybe you should take 2x leverage. What does that mean? That means you are borrowing against that $500. You are basically being given another $500 in which to bet. And if that amount of money, if Bitcoin's price, falls in the opposite direction, whether you're betting it's going to go up or betting it's going to go down, because you bet, so it's $500. Now, because you're using 2x leverage, your position is not worth $500, it's worth $1,000. And if your losses exceed what you deposited, $500, you will be liquidated, which means your position gone. Now, Bitcoin typically doesn't fall 50%. If it fell 50%, you would be liquidated. Then why don't we do 3x leverage? Why don't we do 10x leverage? Why don't we do 50x leverage? Why don't we do 100x leverage? Well, because if you do 100x leverage and the price moves in the opposite direction by any amount, you'll be completely liquidated. That's what all of these idiots do. That's why this all happens. Throughout my entire crypto career, there would be people on X, Twitter, saying, if you idiots just bought the stupid Bitcoin at spot and you withdrew it off the exchange into your own private self-custody wallet, they wouldn't be able to manipulate the markets through the derivatives market. No one does it. So the moral of the story, and to maybe close the loop here, is that I was talking to a friend, and I said I solved crypto. And I said, no one buys this as a long-term investable asset like they do with stocks. And when I got it in 2021, not at the beginning of the year, because I just needed Ethereum so I could do the NFT thing, but when the year progressed, 2021, and I was like, maybe I could make money doing this. I thought, this is exponential growth technology. I am buying it, and I will continue to buy it. Buy the dip. Do you know what buy the dip means? It means when it dips, that's when you want to buy. And I said, I'm buying this because I believe in the future it's going to be worth so much more, and it will, assuming you don't have to sell it because you need to pay bills, which that would be catastrophically awful. And I thought, because I got it, I got why you would invest in this technology, because of the decentralized finance, being your own bank. And I thought I was investing in it because I thought it would be worth so much in the future. And I thought there would be other people like me who would think the same. I didn't think that there wouldn't be people like me who thought the same, and I thought that number would only grow over time. And I didn't think that there was this stupid fucking derivatives market where people would go to try to maximize their gains and then get completely liquidated, and that the stupid cryptocurrency exchanges that make money off of trading fees and off of liquidating these traders, because someone has to be at the other end of that 50x leverage trade. I didn't realize that it was basically max liquidity extraction from everybody. And there's so much I didn't know. And to be honest, you might be like, well, you learned, and so did everyone. No, I don't think anyone knows. I still hear people who are apparently crypto people that say the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, I don't even want to correct them because that's not who I am. I don't want to, I don't know. So what would I say? Well, the things that I would say is, if you're going to do any investing in crypto, you should probably realize why you would even invest in anything in the first place. which is to outpace inflation, which we can get into. Inflation, I don't even like to say inflation, but everyone knows the word inflation. What inflation really is currency debasement, because they print money every year. We should probably talk about when they release the monthly inflation reports, but like I don't want to get that deep right now, so I won't get into that. By the way, hit me up if you want SDHO. Hit me up if you want Ableton Live sessions, but like also this stuff. Like maybe you're a very wealthy person, and I do know stocks and I do know macro, so I can get into all of that. Obviously, I was not focusing on that right now. I had my own idea of what I wanted to get into. I could help you with that. I don't want to be like a financial advisor, because apparently if someone, just so you know, and like there's people who are literally lunatics, where if you say, oh, you should buy blah, 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 and then like it goes bad, they will sue you. Like there's literally crazy people, which is insane, because those same people suing you are very, very wealthy. Try paying court fees, you know what I mean? But I could help advise you with your investment stock portfolios or whatever, because like I do follow stocks as well, because you kind of have to. You kind of need to know what's going on in all financial markets if you're going to be in crypto. And you need to be aware of macro, short for macroeconomics, which is basically like the tide that moves the markets up and down over periods of time. But until people start buying crypto as like, yo, this is like an investment in the proliferation of blockchain technology, but no one does that. And I thought that people would, and I was like betting on people would understand it and view it the way I would. And not that they would do it when I did, but that they would do it over the coming years. And even though like everyone's talking about it, everyone like knows it's here to stay, especially Bitcoin, people aren't buying it that way. And because people aren't buying it that way, they're like treating it as like this speculative pump and dump. That's what it's going to continue to be. There's only one asset in all of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, that people actually do, and I can stand by this. They buy it because they're buying it as a future long-term investment. That's not happening for anything other than Bitcoin. Yes, I love Solana and Ethereum. They're wonderful blockchains. And yes, there are people who are doing that, but I can only confidently say people are doing that with Bitcoin. It may change, but I wouldn't suggest anyone to get in. That's why I told you this is not going to be a rah-rah thing. This is educational. This is good. I'm sharing. And to be honest with you guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed the other ones. I'm going to talk about other shit. Maybe I'll do like a digital art one next, or maybe I'll talk about like AI or spirituality next. And I guess what I'm really hoping for with whatever the hell I choose to do, and I don't know what I want to do yet, but I want like people to be like, listen, like this guy is not fake. He's not being paid by some foreign government or his government to like propagandize me. He cares about everything he says. He only talks about things that he cares about. So like if I'm talking about anything I care about, whether it's digital music with the Ableton shit, like the digital art, with the crypto, with the financial market stuff, whether it's spirituality stuff, metaphysics, you know what I mean? Whether it's AI, all these things that I care about that I really like I'm not bullshitting. I'm not repeating what someone told me. I'm like giving my direct experience opinion on it. And I feel like there's a lot of value in that. And so at the end of the day, I am just happy to come on, hang out, share this stuff. As far as Bitcoin and crypto, well, none of it would just my closing thoughts, none of it would exist without blockchain technology. So just ask your ChatGPT, what is blockchain? Have it explain it to you. Realize that the Bitcoin blockchain is different than the Ethereum or Solana blockchain. Learn about it. If you think that, smart contracts, that allow for DeFi, the ability to self-custody your wealth, is important, you want to invest in it, look up and, dive deeper into Solana and Ethereum. Bitcoin, its value proposition is that what it does very well, which is like a store of value, digital gold. There's only going to be 21 million. It's scarce. 20 million of those 21 million are already released because they're always printing more money, so they're debasing our currency. But you can't print more Bitcoin. It exists outside of borders. We could get more into the nuances of that, but that's what I wanted to get into because I care about it. You know, I didn't come on here because I thought I had to or because I was getting paid to, and I hope maybe you learned something. You probably learned so much, probably need to digest it. But that's it. That's all for tonight. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully none of this recording got screwed up because I haven't recorded anything in over a month. Hope you're doing good. We will be back, and take care. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Whatever, guys. Take care. Be good to yourself. Love others. And we're all going to be free in 2 years. God bless the year of 2027. We're coming there quick. And take care. And good night.
Oh, that's a good doggy. He's cheapy doggy. He's good.